Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Batman.
Now let's start the show.
Thank you. What's the deal with outhouses? They're like bathrooms with the ground. I think I opened another episode like this earlier on in the show, but I don't think I ever actually talked about outhouses. Like, I think I talked about toilet seats or something instead. It was just loosely related. But why didn't I talk about outhouses? I mean, porta potties are already, those are pretty bad, right? Like, a porta potty, you go in there and it's like, yes, this is just a shitter you can take wherever you want. Take it on the road with you. A portable shitter. Shitter in a can. And it's like, okay, like that's, I understand how you can just kind of set those up for certain public events or whatever, so people aren't, peeing and pooping on the ground outside for you all to see and, smell and stumble into. But, porta potties are fucking disgusting in themselves, right? And you're like, okay, well, you go in here and it's like, there's just, you could pee into this section of the molded plastic on the wall here, if you're a dude, or otherwise you can sit down and then just let all of your waste go into the disgusting pit in the bottom of this. That's just it's just a giant container for fucking disgusting, human waste, which is horrible. Like, if you're a germaphobe, you don't even want to, you don't want to look at one of those, you don't want to think about them, you definitely don't want to stand next to one, and no way in hell are you using them. I also don't really feel super comfortable when you're in there. It's it's just a huge plastic thing, and it's you fucking I'll lock this, and you just slide a thing over like this, that's locked. Nobody could possibly penetrate, the security of the fucking, portable plastic shitter when I flipped a thing to the side. It feels like what we would have in a child's playhouse thing. You just have a cheap plastic playhouse set thing, and you'd have those, and it feels like one of those. That the quality of a porta potty, it's this is fucking horrible. This is terrible, and it's just the smell. They put shit in there to try and not actually shit, but they put things in there to try and make it smell less like what it is, a gigantic container for piss and shit. But you have that out there, and you have it, especially if it's somewhere where those things are just baked in the sun, and that heat just gets trapped in there. It's just terrible. I don't know. That's just one of the worst places you would ever die is in a porta potty, It's also scary, the idea that someone might knock it over and then just have horrible things cover you. Horrible things. You'd be lucky. You would be lucky if it was just piss and shit that covers you afterwards. I don't even know if that would be it. But anyway, I want to talk about outhouses. And outhouses are a bit of a different story in the sense that at least a porta potty is a contained unit. When it's it's a portable potty, it makes sense. Outhouse, the fuck is that? An outhouse? I thought if you were in a house, you'd be inside, right? Every house is out somewhere until you're inside of it. So you go into the outhouse, and it's usually just it's a fucking hole in the ground. It's a hole. An outhouse is a hole where you go to the bathroom in a hole, and that's the bathroom hole. But you don't want people to see you do it. You don't want to just go into the, you don't want to go into the trees or the bushes or some shit. Just in case someone or something might find you. I don't want somebody to see me, taking a wee, dropping a deuce. I don't want people to see that shit. I have some dignity. I'm gonna go into the outhouse, and I'll pee and poo into a hole like a like a civilized person. They just seem, and like usually also it's like, you know, an idea of like the bathroom is not in your house, and like that's probably just the thing of like indoor plumbing not being a thing yet, and they're like, well, we don't want to have that in our house, so we're gonna make a different place to go do that. It's bizarre. It really is bizarre, and I don't know. I mean, at this point, if there's still outhouses as an option to go to, you'd be like, that should just be in a museum. Like, don't. I just feel like it's just a shitty middle ground, you know? It's just a thing of like, well, I want to go to the bathroom, and I can't go to the bathroom in a bathroom because they don't have those. So, choices are go to this weird outhouse and go to the bathroom in a hole. You know, in this structure that was designed for me to go into just to go to the bathroom. That's not connected to the main house thing, because what I'm doing is so, you know, undignified. I have to be away from the house to do that, away from the in-house, and so then, you know, like, but I'm not so concerned about, you know, that kind of thing. I'm not so concerned about peeing and pooping. Just being able to do that not in the house, that I'm going to go just do it, you know, in the fucking wilderness, in the seclusion of that. I don't know. Maybe if you live in a place where there's no indoor plumbing, no trees and shrubbery and whatnot to go into, you know, if you're in a desert that has people around or something, there's maybe a few scenarios where it still makes sense. Very rarely does it ever. And the name is just preposterously an outhouse. Why not call it the bathroom house, the shit house? Just call it the bathroom. It's still what it is, I guess. And like, you don't really technically take a bath in it, or do you? Maybe it depends on the outhouse. How would you take a bath without the plumbing of it, right? You know, like, I don't know. I can't imagine it's super sanitary. Do they move outhouses every once in a while so you can, you know? I don't know how I don't even really know how they work. I'm not an outhouse expert. If you're an outhouse expert, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Mostly comment, though, and tell me about it. You can dislike if you don't like how I've been shitting on outhouses. You're supposed to do that in the outhouses, not on the outhouses. What are you thinking? Hell, it's not an on-house. That would be a ridiculous name. What's the deal with outhouses? They're like bathrooms with the ground. Literally.
What's the deal with sand? What's the deal with sand? What's the deal with sand? What's the deal with sand?
Oh, I was supposed to do the porta potty joke for the end one. Fuck.